I know a great way to spend your Labor Day. Come on down to the ballpark. It is beautiful out, and the Rockies are getting ready to take on the hated San Francisco Giants. Welcome inside Coors Field on a lovely afternoon. Chad Bettis has the baseball today. He jogs out to the mound at 20th and Blake. First of 3 ball games between the Rockies and Giants. This is the 3rd series for the Rockies on this homestand. They are 3-3 so far. Now, leading off for the Giants will be the veteran Denard Span. He's at 268. As Huey was telling you a moment ago, the Giants just have not hit, not only in that Chicago series, they have not hit in the second half. One of the reasons they have played so poorly. Here's their lineup, and they're kind of twisted things around for Bruce Bochy. Angel Pagano bats second, Brandon Crawford third. Pence hit a couple home runs in the Chicago series. He'll bat cleanup. Panic 5, Eduardo Nunez 6. Brandon Belt, have you ever seen him that far down the lineup?
No, never.
He's batting 7.
And against a right-handed pitcher.
And against a righty. Trevor Brown 8th, and the recently acquired Matt Moore is on the hill. He'll bat 9th.
And for Chad Bettis, he's looking to duplicate what he did in Washington, where he threw up 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, but both of those were solo shots, so no harm with extra guys out there. Getting a lot of run support, 3rd best in the National League with the run support, fastball, slider, changeup, curveball. I know Mark Stout's going to talk about this a little bit more later, but the changeup has been his pitch and the one he utilized a lot in the Washington game.
So Bettis, a couple deep breaths. He's ready to go. You know he's going to compete. Denard Span, kind of typical of everybody in that Giants lineup. Huey, he's 1 for his last 20. That constitutes him as hot.
With the 1 hit.
Yeah.
And 0 for his last 16.
Yeah, first 2 pitches missed. That happened to John Gray yesterday. John Gray walked the first man of the ball game yesterday on 4 pitches, and he came back to haunt him because now it's 3-0. I don't mean that literally, but yesterday walked Gene Segura, and Segura would score on a sac fly by Paul Goldschmidt in the first.
And that was after a stolen base too by Segura. I mean, you come out, you have all this energy and hype, you're ready to get going. And there he dials it in.
The interesting thing after that is John was strike 1 to virtually everybody, and maybe threw too good a pitch. That's basically how he looked at it, to Socrates Brito in the 7th inning when he gave up the 3-run home run, which really turned the game on its ear.
He really missed location bad on that pitch to Brito. Wanted it up, and it got down and in, and he just hammered it.
It's fouled off by Span. 4 straight day games for the Giants, and that happens a lot when you're in Chicago.
Well, they had the Thursday night game in Chicago, and this day. 40,000 plus each day in Chicago.
This is on the ground to short. Christian Adames across, and Denard Span is now 1 for his last 21. Here's how the ball game ended yesterday at Wrigley Field on the north side. 13th inning, the struggling Jason Hayward, who interestingly tied the game in the 9th with a base hit, threw a little sand wedge out into center field, and the Cubs continued their winning ways. They took 3 of 4 against the Giants, all 1-run ball games.
And that's an area that they've struggled with since the All-Star break. Just 5 and 13 are the Giants in 1-run games.
And they're usually the masters of the 1-run games.
Because they're used to playing in those type of games all the time with out in San Francisco.
And in the first half, to your point, Huey, they were great in 1-run ball games. But the second half has been disastrous in so many ways.
Right back at him, right up the middle.
1 ball, 1 strike on Angel Pagan. Sharply hit somewhat. And 1 hop. That's a nice play by Adames to hang tough on maybe a peculiar hop. 2 outs.
They have some soft hands, did Christian.
Here's the Rockies defensively. Rayburn's in left. Toppy again for Blackman in center. Charlie's lower back still a little bit tight. Potential to be able to be of some use later on in the ball game. Cargo is in right, and you see for the first time in 3 ball games, Nick Hundley's behind the plate. Now, Nick's swinging it great. He has no issues. It's just with the addition of Tommy Murphy, he played Saturday, got the start. You want to use him. And Tony Walters, he deserves to be used also. So Tony got the start yesterday. It's kind of like a 3-headed monster, at least over the weekend, with the catcher's spot, and that's why you're seeing Nick for the first time since Friday night. Did pinch hit yesterday. Here's the 0-1, and that's a little comebacker and a good start for Chad Bettis. 3 ground balls, 3 outs. We'll see the Rockies offensively against the lefty Matt Moore when we return. Making his 3rd straight start in center field, again with the back strain suffered by Charlie Blackmon, the back tightness. Charlie's out of there. Southwest batting order will feature DJ in the 2nd spot. Then it's Nolan, Cargo, Rayburn, 3, 4, and 5. Nick Hundley will bat 6. Nick swinging it well. Steven Cardullo batting 7th. Christian Adames. DJ with a 21-game on-base streak. Not only his career best, it's the 2nd best for any Rocky this year. Charlie Blackmon, 32 straight earlier in the season. So here's Tapia. Boy, he hasn't been overwhelmed by being in the big leagues. He had 3 more knocks yesterday, Huey.
Yeah, so 6 knocks so far. The first one was the pinch hit that he had against Arizona that follows it up with a 2-hit performance. A couple of these hits, too, when he was down in the count 0-2, including yesterday to lead off the ball game. Throws another sinker out to center field for 3 hits on the afternoon yesterday for Raimel.
So here is Matt Moore, the former Tampa Bay Ray. High quality left-hander, former All-Star. Matt Moore making his 7th start in a Giant uniform. His record is 2-3, but that record's deceiving. The league has hit just 178 against him since coming to the Giants. Well,
in his first 4 ball games for San Francisco, he was 0-3 with the .470, but his last 2, 2-0 with the .64. Those are the combined numbers between Tampa and San Francisco. Acquired him in the trade, the July 31st deadline. Fastball, curveball, changeup, cut fastball. Talk a little bit more about the cut fastball as we go along, but don't be deceived by that 2% number because it's higher now.
He's a 27-year-old who will be a free agent at the end of the year. That's why Tampa moved him. I'm sure the Giants are going to have a ton of interest in keeping him. Toppy out of that crowd, Joe 2, and this is slowly hit to Joe Panic, 1 out. Let's take a look at the Giants defensively. In the outfield, they have Pagan, who is a center fielder by trade, but he gives way to Denard Span. Hunter Pence is out and right. Eduardo Nunez, another guy they picked up during the season. He's at 3rd base, the former Yankee and Twin. Brandon Crawford is terrific at shortstop. Joe Panic, Brandon Belt, good hands at first, and good at catching Trevor Brown. He's thrown out 25% of would-be base stealers. He'll probably be behind the plate tomorrow as well, listening to Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, Bruce saying that Buster probably going to get the start tomorrow at first base to give Brandon Belt a day off against the left-hander. But the way Brown's been swinging, they want to keep his bat in there.
This is going to be out of play. So DJ behind 0-2.
That's nothing. 2 strikes on DJ. So what?
I can't remember the last time he had a hit when he didn't have 2 strikes. He's hitting .342 against lefties, .345 against righties. Picture of consistency at .344, the leading hitter in the National League. Washington, Daniel Murphy, second inning at home against Atlanta. We'll keep you abreast of how Murphy's doing. And here is the numbers officially. 344 to 340. DJ yesterday had 1 hit in 5 at bats. He was 3 for 4 on Saturday.
Daniel Murphy is not in the lineup today against Atlanta, so he's getting the day off. It's a chance for DJ to extend the lead then.
So you got to look at it.
Make him swing the bat.
Fastball and a hard shot off of Belt. Panic, and they're not going to get him. That'll be a base hit. I would assume they'll have to give the hit on that. That was a bullet.
Well, they should, because that's to Brandon Belt's backhand. Has to reach across his body. He's just lucky he knocks it down. And just to give Joe Panic a chance to throw it right off the heel of the glove on the Subaru Supermo.
Yeah, that's a hit. Got to be a hit all the way.
It has to be a hit. If not, it might be a double. And it will go down as a hit for DJ, rightfully so.
So DJ aboard, and here's Arenado. Boy, has Nolan done damage against the Giants this year. Done damage against everybody.
A 340 average, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs against San Francisco.
Nolan took a strike. Moore has faced the Rockies 1 time. That came with Tampa in 2013. Gave up 4 runs in 5 innings here at Coors Field. Game Tampa eventually won. This will skip to the backstop, and DJ goes to second base.
Just spikes this out of the hand. Change up on the Subaru Supermo. It didn't really slide over, did Trevor Brown. Now runner in scoring position for Nolan.
For the RBI hog. Got 117 ribbies. That's up 2-1.
And then how carefully do they pitch Nolan? With an open base, and then you got Cargo behind him, left on left. I don't think that left-hander matters to Cargo. That's what's nice when you have these two and they're interchangeable. One hitting 3, the other hitting 4.
2-2. Yeah, Cargo's swung the bat much better this year against lefties.
I mean, even in the Arizona series, didn't have a whole lot of hits to show for it, but he was rocketing the ball all over the ballpark.
I told the story on the air the other day. I was kidding Cargo 3 days ago. I said, stop hitting it at people. So today I went up to him in the clubhouse. I said, dude, you're not listening to me. He smiled. I said, stop hitting it at people.
Well, the Giants only carry 2 catchers right off the top of the knees. You know, he drops down, and then with that padding, it's still off the kneecap. You saw it just the Subaru Supermo. But by only carrying 2 catchers, it just, most teams, especially in September, will call a 3rd catcher up.
Well, it's shocking, really, because you're right. It's September. And the Giants have 2 catchers and they have 47 pitchers in their bullpen.
They had to call up an extra bullpen catcher just to catch all those guys out there.
And Buster's looking in, making sure that his partner Trevor Brown's okay. I mean, they had to add a bench out there. They have 13 out there. They have 6 lefties.
Yeah, and they had to rent an extra bus just to bring their bullpen guys.
Crazy. This goes to what we were discussing yesterday. Spilly was up here that I don't get why baseball plays with a completely different set of rules in September. I'm all for September call-ups. But 2.5 hours before the ball game, 3 hours before the ball game, designate who your 25 guys are for that ball game.
Like a taxi squad.
Yeah. So here we go again. 2-2, 1 out. DJ at second. And a line shot caught at third by Nunez. 2 outs.
Can't hit it much harder than what Nolan did. Yes, catches it. Rattles. You see the white part of the baseball, almost a little bit of a snow cone at the edge. Still try to get DJ at second base. DJ had nothing to do with that. Throws on the line drive just like you're taught.
Cargo shaking it up with the short pants and the high socks.
You know what? You'll do anything when you're hitting the ball hard, right at people. Change your batting gloves up. Change your socks. This is when you get one of those blue hits to drive in a run to get you going.
That pitch misses. Well, success for Cargo against the Giants this year. A couple home runs. He's driven in 6, a .321 average.
Doesn't matter if it's right-handed or left-handed, because he's gone deep against him a couple times, both of them against the left-handed reliever.
This is a pop-up left side. Nunez calling for it. And he makes the catch, so the Rockies leave DJ LeMahieu in scoring position. We'll go to the second. No score at Coors Field.
Bettis threw 12 pitches. They were pretty much all fastballs. I think he threw 1 slider. Did not use the changeup, but he's used it a lot this year. In fact, he gets his highest swing and miss off the changeup. So Walt Weiss is all for that pitch.
I've always liked Chad's changeup. I think it's a great weapon. It was good to see him go to it more the last time out, and I think that'll be a trend here going forward.
So Jerome Jeff on the year, his chase percentage is 49% on the changeup, and his highest strike percentage at 67 on that pitch.
Well, guys are hitting 152 after the All-Star break on that changeup, so you might as well throw it. Prior to the All-Star break, it was 315 for Chad in the batting average against. But he's just one of 3 guys in baseball that have 20-plus strikeouts on a 4-pitch mix: fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup.
Got a tough guy at the plate in Hunter Pence. Takes inside. Here's what you were talking about: Verlander and Carlos Carrasco, 2 outstanding pitchers.
Well, Verlander's 14-7 with a 3.30 ERA. Carrasco's 10-7 with the 3.06. And when you can put all of these elements in a hitter's mind, it gives you higher odds, because if you're playing the guessing game or the what's he going to throw game, when you have 4 pitches instead of just 3 or maybe even 2 pitches, it's going to tilt to your advantage as a pitcher.
2-2 on Hunter Pence. Pence 5 for 11 in his career against Bettis. Hunter hitting just .241 since coming off the disabled list with a hamstring injury on July 30th. Pence did hit a couple home runs in the Cubs series. Overall, 3 of 16. Did he go? Check it out at first with David Rackley. He says no.
There were only 2 home runs hit in that 4-game set in Chicago. The 2 by Pence, 0 by the Cubs.
Unusual for midsummer, right?
Yeah. Even a couple games I was watching, the wind was blowing in slightly, but not enough where it would affect it that much.
Hard ground ball. DJ on the backhand sets his feet. Pence is out. 4 outs, 4 ground balls thus far for Chad Bettis.
Good to see, because Chad started out this ball game falling behind 3-0, but since then 19 pitches, 12 for strikes.
I know it's not exactly midsummer, it's early September, but the temperature's still warm out. Your former Cub. Now, April and May, it is tough to hit the ball.
Well,
out
it
there.
is. I mean, that lake wind, the coolness coming off of Lake Michigan.
There's a strike, according to Larry Vanover, on Joe Panik. Panik just 5 for 28 against the Rockies this year.
Right back at him, kid.
And it's a 2-strike count on Panik, and that will take us to the story of Joe Panik and the lack of strikeouts. He's a tough guy to punch out. In fact, he's the toughest guy in the National League to fan.
Just 10.5 strikeout ratio for Joe Panik.
1-2. Also on that list is Daniel Murphy. Murphy is the 2nd toughest guy to strike out. Well, the Molina brothers as a whole, Benji was the same way. Yadier,
right.
They didn't strike out.
Somehow they would find a way to put the ball in play. On that list, 2 catchers.
Yeah, Buster's not striking out, but he's not getting a lot of hits.
He hit 1 ball out of the infield. 1. That's it in the 4-game set in Chicago. A fly ball to the outfield. Other than that, a lot of 4-3, 6-3s.
1-2. Well, we were talking to Walt before the ball game, and I can't remember exactly which player we were talking about, but somebody scuffling. And Walt said, as everybody who played this game at any level knows, and even at the highest level, these are the best guys by far in the world. He said 100% of players are going to struggle. Not 90%, not 98%, 100%.
Yeah,
so even a guy like Buster Posey, we saw it earlier with Nolan.
It happens. This game, it kind of wires you to fall into the, uh-oh, can I still play this game? But the guy, the question was asked about Carlos Estevez. If he's lost some confidence, what's happened to him out in the bullpen? And Walt says every player at some point in the major leagues loses some confidence.
You can give the false bravado, but
that's what everybody does.
It tears you down.
Yeah, you have that false machismo where you're saying, oh yeah, I'm good, don't worry about me, until you get in the car and you're almost in tears. When am I going to get another hit? When am I going to be able to throw a strike?
It's a sick feeling, isn't it?
It's the worst.
1-1 on Nunez. That's inside on Eduardo. He was with the Twins this year. The Giants were active, as they typically are around the trade deadline, and they picked up Nunez. He was an all-star this year with Minnesota.
Where's that? Must be inside. Nope. Bottom of the Subaru strike zone.
(3-1) on Nunez. Pulls that into the seats foul. Nunez hitting below 200 his last 14 games. It's up and down the lineup, man. It's been a
hitting. What do we always say? Hitting's contagious both ways. I like that last sequence from Nick and Chad. Eduardo had fouled the fastball off down the line. They come right back inside underneath the hands with another fastball. If you're a hitter, you're thinking, oh man, are they going to come back in here a third time? So you have them set up for a slider.
That's where they went.
And it was located just where you want it. Just enough on the Subaru Super Mode to foul that pitch off. Have to be able to pitch inside and out, both sides of the plate.
Got him. And Nunez, no interest in pursuing first base, so Nick will make it official. Great start for Chad Bettis. Second, the Rockies will have Ryan Rayburn, Nick Hundley, and Steven Cardullo to face Matt Moore. Let's check our Office Liquidators series storylines. Keep the Giants down, as we've been discussing. They're 16-30 since the All-Star break. Nolan has done a lot of damage against them the last couple of years. 21 ribbies this year. The pen has to clean up its act. They've given up runs in 25 of their last 28 ball games. Ryan Rayburn takes a strike at the knees from Moore. He's seen Matt on 4 occasions in the past, 0 for 4. Rayburn getting a start in left field today. And that's bounced foul. Matt Moore was born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And when he was 6, his family moved to Okinawa in Japan. His dad worked on military helicopters, and they lived there for more than 5 years before moving back to the States. A line shot that's knocked down by Nunez, and he'll complete the play at first. So another hard shot at Nunez.
The line out of Nolan that he was able to grab, and now off the bat of Ryan Rayburn just knocks it down and spins and fires. To get Brian, that's 2 hard hit balls to Nunez. He's probably saying, hey, wait, you know, I'm hitting somebody else. Those balls are hit hard.
Last time we saw Nick, it was the 8th inning on Friday night. And he did something he had never done before in his big league career. He had a grand salami. Armigo big hit. Just got out in a hurry too.
And it also extended that lead in that ball game. It was a game they ended up winning 14-7, but it was still close before that ball got out.
This is in the air to right field. Hunter Pence, I don't know if he can see it. I guess he saw it enough to make the catch.
He was doing everything. He has sunglasses on. He put the hands up. For a moment, he gave the appearance that I don't see it anymore. And this is a helpless feeling as an outfielder. You're running over, the ball gets directly in the sun. But see how he angles his body and then puts his hands up to try to shade the eyes even more? And then it finally comes out the last 20 or 25 feet, but he fought it the whole way on the Subaru Supermo.
Yeah, there was, you could tell by his reaction, there was a portion of the flight of that baseball where it became invisible to him.
And then you know how it is when you look up at the sun for a minute and then you stop looking at it. What do you see? You see sunspots.
Sunspots.
And now out of all those sunspots, pick up the baseball.
0-1 on Cardullo. 0-2 on Cardullo. Steven, a couple of home runs. Came Wednesday against the Dodgers. Home run in game 1. Grand slam in game 2.
I think that's why Nick had to hit a grand slam. He said, Steven did it early in his career. I've been playing all this time, and I finally have to hit one.
Knocked off a number of firsts in his first week in the big leagues. Moore features a very good curveball. He's ahead 0-2. The 6-3 lefty's delivery, and that's hit in the air to shallow center, and it's raced down by Denard Span. 1-2-3 inning in the second for Moore. We are scoreless in Denver on this Labor Day as we go to the 3rd. field. Get the sunscreen out and are using it. Rockies and the Giants as we go to the top of the third. Brandon Belt's going to lead things off against Chad Bettis. Chad has induced 5 ground balls, mostly weak contact and also a strikeout. Belt hitting the 7th spot for just the 4th time this year. That's how much he is struggling. And Brandon lines out to Cardullo. He did catch it in the air, 1 out. Well, check out the last 4 games at home for Chad Bettis in contrast to his first 7 starts at Coors Field.
Yeah, even though he was winning, or the Rocks were winning in 5-2, the ERA is unsightly at 6.69. He's cut that over half in the last 4, 3.22. 3 quality starts out of 4 compared to just 2 in his first 7.
Trevor Brown. And a strike on Brown. Brown's last start was Friday in Chicago, and he's behind 0-2. He's just 1 for 14 at the plate. It's really ridiculous. I mean, every guy you look at in their lineup is 1 for this, 0 for that.
I mean, yeah, you and I do the same thing. We mark and highlight and write down numbers, and everything I'm writing down is really remarkable for a full team offense to do what the Giants are doing. I mean, I hope they do it for the next 3 days. No doubt about it.
They can find somebody else to beat up on. There's not much a manager could do.
The question was asked today to Bochy about, kind of the offense, and he tongue-in-cheek goes, "Go ask Kinsley Mullins, the hitting coach." And he was like, "I'm tired of answering these questions. Basically, the guys will have to keep swinging."
And this Twitter universe that we live in, that always cracks me up. Also, as if and Boch has great respect for Bam Bam, for Hensley Mullins. But, the Twitter universe will blame the hitting coach. The guys aren't hitting.
Fire him.
Yeah, it's the hitting coach's fault. You want to give him a raise when that 10-day period where they were scoring 8 runs a game?
I've never seen a hitting coach's name on the back of anybody's bubblegum card.
0-2, and now 0-3 on Moore, and you got to go when you get to 3. Bettis, a quick 3rd inning. He's on a roll. 9 set down in a row to begin the ball game. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. The roaring Platte River. Has roaring and Platte River ever been used in the same sentence?
Maybe in spring with some runoff.
Yeah. It's our river. Coors Field. Ball game pitched so far by Chad Bettis. He's retired all 9 he's faced. Matt Moore in the third will face Christian Adames, then Bettis and Raimel Tapia. Matt Moore is telling you that he spent a good portion of his adolescence in Japan. He had an older brother who was an outfielder pitcher at the University of New Mexico, and that was where Matt Moore was going to go play his college baseball, but he signed with Tampa.
Drafted in the 8th round back in 2007, the 245th pick overall.
Adames takes ball 1. Last 3 starts for Christian, he's thrown out 7 hits.
Yeah, he needed that. And he had a stretch midway through the season for about 2 or 3 weeks where he was getting some regular playing time, throwing out a lot of hits, and then the well kind of ran dry.
It did initially after Trevor Story went down. 2-0 on Adames, 10 for his last 17. And 3-0. This will be an automatic take for Christian.
Might be a couple takes. If you don't take this one, act like it was just that 3-0 pitch right where you want it, splitting the plate. There's Trevor.
Three and 2.
Trevor's out running today. Said I feel kind of like a ball player again, being able to do some jogging, some running. But no, folks, still probably not going to be back by the end of the year. Don't even entertain that thought.
Foul tip. Well, actually got that question today. People saw Trevor out and about a little bit, and he's been here every day. He's working his tail off. And they said, is there a possibility? And Walt said it'd be very, very slim, and they're certainly not going to, rush him to get back for 3 or 4 ball games.
Well, logistics make it tough with all the minor league seasons ending either today or early this week.
Ball 4. Good at bat for Adames. So he walks leading off the 3rd inning, and that'll make Chad Bettis' assignment in theory simple.
Chad 4 sacrifice bunts this year.
You find it was a little easier, Huey, to bunt for you. You were a left-handed bat to bunt a right-hander.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, just seeing the ball from that window made it easier, and I think it will for Chad too. Again, another reminder, runner on first. Where do you bunt? You bunt towards first. Even if Brandon Belt crashes hard, they have a play on, still go to first.
He crashed so hard it looked like the automatic slug bunt came on for Bettis.
And that's what it was. And that's a pre-designed play by the Giants. So the pitcher will come set, and then for Belt, he's counting 1001, 1002. When he gets to that, that's when he takes off.
And Bettis, if he wants, could pull the bat back and slug bunt.
But to do that, you have to show early. I mean, everybody in the ballpark knows he's going to be bunt, so there's no sense hiding it from anybody. Get it out there early, and then if you do see the guys crashing from the corners, then you just pull it back. You stay choked up on the bat and try to slap it down on the ground. A lot of open holes.
All of a sudden, Moore can't find the strike zone. 2-0 on Bettis. Folks, when the Rockies score 7 runs or more in any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Make sure you do it between 4 and 6, and you'll receive your Rockies taco special at Masa Taco Bell. Three and 0.
Wow. And all 3 pitches are in the same general area on the Subaru strike zone. Up and away on the arm side.
A 4-pitch walk to Bettis, who's trying to lay down a bunt. And now the Rockies have 2 on. Nobody out. And the speedster Raimel Tapia coming up. And that'll get Dave Righetti to the mound. A couple of lefties to converse.
Similar style pitchers. Righetti probably threw harder in his career than Matt Moore. Still the left-handed brotherhood. Now for Tapia, I would still look for him to lay down a bunt for a base hit.
Yeah, he's pitched really good baseball for the Giants. The only number that stands out from a negative standpoint, he has walked 23 in 39 innings.
Which is different than what he was doing when he was with Tampa Bay. He walked 61 in 167 innings.
They're kind of strange. See if the Rockies can take advantage. The bunt's back in play immediately again. Tapia bunts very well.
But look at, they're already thinking it's going to be a sacrifice bunt where Nunez is playing. And look at all this area right through here. You have that. But now it's a decision. If you bunt it towards the third baseman right here, he has to make a decision. Do I go get it? Or do I wait to see if the pitcher can come over to the line and grab it?
How about coverage up the middle, Huey? Because you have decent speed at second. You obviously don't have a ton of speed at first in a pitcher who's going to be a little more cautious. How does the coverage work up the middle, or is there coverage up the middle?
You still have the shortstop. He's going on the back because Joe Panik is already committed to first base. And there's a lot of room, and that's why for Brandon Crawford, he has to stay almost in the back pocket of Christian at second base.
That time Tapia was not bunting. It's 2-1. Again, this is a young man that uses the whole field. A couple of his hits we've seen already have been sprayed through that left side. And because of what Huey said, Crawford having to try to hold the runner at second, Adames close. And the positioning of Nunez, there's a big opening on that left side.
I'm a little surprised Nunez is that close to the line. It's almost like late in the ball game, no doubles.
And a line shot, and it goes off of Crawford. Everybody's going to be safe. Wow, that was weird. That's a relatively easy play.
And the Giants have come into baseball third in the National League in fielding percentage. They've been fielding the ball at a .987 clip, and that just clanks off the heel or the backside of the glove for Brandon Crawford.
One of the elite shortstops defensively in the game.
The only thing I can think of just watching it from this angle, he must have thought it was going to duck hook more. Because he drops to the knee acting like, uh-oh, I've got to try to get underneath it. I don't know, because this is an easy play if you don't go down sliding.
Bases loaded for DJ. Nobody out.
DJ 8 for his last 17 with runners in scoring position.
They're going to give Tapia a base hit. He will take it.
Yes, he will.
1-0 on LeMahieu. Bases full of Rockies. Matt Moore struggled to throw strikes here in the third. He's behind 2-0.
He's got a guy at the plate.
He'll force you to throw strikes.
Definitely will. This is where you have to put your foot. You have to make this a 2-3, maybe even a 4-run inning.
Absolutely. You're talking about a guy in his last 2 starts has given up just 1 run. I mean, Matt Moore's pitched very good baseball. That's a strike, 2-1. And also, he's been around a while now. Come off Tommy John surgery. This is a guy that, you know, this may be the one hiccup inning, and then he dials in.
But he also knows too, because he's been watching this offense enough to know that they're not scoring a ton of runs. So I can't give up many runs.
Moore stepped off, so DJ will step out. Mayhew a single his first time up. Leading hitter in the National League. Adames at third, Bettis at second, Toppy at first, and now Trevor Brown. Try to get on the same page with the left-hander Moore. Nolan's on deck. DJ 10 for 27 on the homestand. 2-1 fouled off. He took a terrific cut on that pitch.
Yeah, that was a 4-run swing on the 2-1 pitch. Boy, belt high fastball. DJ's trying to elevate it. Fouls it right back. Now you're just hoping you get another pitch like that as a hitter.
This is in the air to deep right field, plenty deep enough to get a run in. Pence again battling the sun, and everybody tagging up, and everybody will move up, and the throw gets away for a moment, backed up by Nunez. The Rockies take a 1-0 lead. LeMahieu a sac fly, his 55th RBI as Adames scores. Bettis to third, and Tapia. That was the key one.
Yes.
Moving from first to second to remove the possibility of a double play.
And the hard thing for Ramil is he has a pitcher in front of him, so you hope that that Chad's going to tag up. Deep fly ball, Chad does that, so you have to wait that extra beat before you take off at first base. And then once he does, he's committed to head first dive. Now the throw gets by, it doesn't matter. But now for DJ, 55 RBIs, and they'll intentionally walk Nolan.
So they'll walk Nolan to go left on left against Cargo. I've said this many times, even though it may make baseball sense, as great a player as Cargo is, you take it personally. You say, all right, you want me?
Okay. I've taken 2 of your left-handers deep this year to dead center field here at Coors Field. So I'm okay with that.
Cargo's numbers career-wise with the bases loaded. Rockies have a run in with 1 out. Bettis at third, Toppy at second, now Arenado at first. Cargo hit a pop to third his first time up.
I was going to say, is Cargo's hitting .277 against left-handers this year with 9 home runs.
Outside, ball 1. Boy, it just slowed the heartbeat, didn't it, Huey, when the first pitch was out of the strike zone?
It just makes you, we talk about confidence, makes you more confident when you're in the batter's box.
Here's the 1-0. That catches the outside corner, 1-1. Dropped a curveball in there. Cargo saw Moore in 2013. This ball driven high and deep right center field, way back and gone. Grand slam, Carlos Gonzalez. You want me? You got me. 6th career slam.
That's the way you personally answer. Careful what you wish for, because I've got it in my back. Take you back to this pitch by pitch. First, it's a big sweeping curveball off the plate, 79 miles an hour away. Same thing, 80 miles an hour, and then try to go upstairs with the fastball. No, it's going to be away from him. But where does Cargo like the ball? He likes to be able to get those arms extended.
You know, Huey, looking at that pitch down low to Rayburn. That pitch was on the black, and he pulled it into the bullpen.
Because Cargo can do that. That's why. Most guys, if that pitch is there, they can take it the other way. Maybe not out, but maybe into the gap. But Cargo takes it over the big high wall in right center field.
Boy, this is the prettiest sight I've seen this Labor Day. Watch again.
Well, just see how everything's connected. Look at where this pitch was, belt high. And then the hips, everything comes through. He knew it. Now a souvenir for the guys in the bullpen.
That'll solve your problem of hitting it at guys. Just hit it where guys don't play defense. All-time Rockies grand slams. Now Cargo just behind Helton, 7.
Remember, this whole inning started with Christian Adames working the walk and then Chad Bettis with the walk.
Rayburn's got 2 outs. That's the Rockies' 6th grand slam as a team this year. Cargo has 2. He hit one in June against the Diamondbacks. Yeah, the heck with that strategy. But that's the beauty. When we talk about this with lineups that are deep like the Rockies. That's the beauty of the Rockies lineup, because there's a base open. You know, you don't want to. Nolan's the RBI leader in baseball. You're going to go left on left. I think virtually every manager in baseball would do that. Now this is leaned on by Nick Hundley, and this one's gone. 10 for Hundley, and it's 6-0 Colorado.
They're doing just what we said with this inning. When the bases are loaded, nobody out, you can't just settle for a couple runs. It's got to be a big, huge, crooked number. How about 6 for you?
You said it. You're absolutely right.
And again, Nick Hundley is just in a great place as a hitter right now. This was almost a carbon copy of the grand slam swing he had the other night.
That's his 14th career home run against the Giants. That's the most he's hit against any one club.
And it also puts him at double digits on the season with 10 and 46 runs batted in.
Cardullo fouls that off.
This is coming against a Giants team that psyche has to be a little shaken anyway, with the way it's gone in the second half. I know they're 10 games over at 73 and 63, but the best record before the break, the worst record after the break.
Well, at the break, they probably felt like legitimately they could print playoff tickets. Now they're looking around, they're looking over their shoulder.
3 games back to the Dodgers.
That's a line drive base hit. So Matt Moore just getting his butt kicked here in the 3rd inning. The Rockies have hit around.
I'm just looking out the bullpen for San Francisco. You have all these guys. Dave Rigetti finally is going to get on the horn. Got some stretching and finally some movement. Looks like it'll be Matt Cain.
That Matt Cain.
Yeah, the same Matt Cain.
That's working out of the bullpen right now. Saw Patrick Corbin yesterday, longtime starter with Arizona, who's now working out of the pen. Adames takes outside. Christian had that good at bat to lead off the inning, produced the walk, and eventually he would score on a sac fly by LeMahieu. 6 runs on 4 hits in the inning. Christian went. The other note about this series, Huey, against the Giants, the Rockies, we know they always play the Giants tough, the last few years in particular. It's been close this year, the series. The Rockies do not see Mad Bum, they won't see Bumgarner, and they won't see Johnny Cueto, the big 2.
And you'll happily miss those 2. Cueto pitched yesterday against the Cubs.
Inside, 2-2.
Now you're looking here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, 64 pitches for Matt Moore.
Two home runs in the inning, a grand slam from Cargo, a solo shot from Hundley. Cardullo just had a base hit. He returns to first. Nick Conley, who's been on the DL twice this year, has produced a career high 46 RBIs in the time that he's been healthy, and he is really swinging the bat well right now. Best he has all year. Boy, this is a sloppy Giant team. That's their 2nd wild pitch. Huey, they came in having thrown the fewest wild pitches in the league, and they already have 2 today.
That makes 34 wild pitches on the season. Spikes that. Next closest is St. Louis, who has 39.
It's unusual to see the pitcher hit twice in an inning. If he loses Adames, that will be the case. He just lost him. And now Christian will jog down to first, and Bettis will come up for the 2nd time here in the 3rd inning. And that will be all for Matt Moore. Bruce Bochy going to go to that crowded bullpen way earlier than he would have liked. 6 for the Rockies in the 3rd. coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. This illustrates the issues with the Giants in the second half. By winning percentage, the best mark in baseball in the first half. They have the worst mark by winning percentage in the second half. The batting average has dropped. Runs per game has dropped almost a full run. The ERA is higher, but not alarmingly so. They just have lost a lot of one-run games because their run differential, Huey, interestingly, they're 14 under 500 in the second half. Their run differential is just -12, which would suggest a much better record.
Right, and that's where sometimes, to me at least, and you and I have had this discussion before, the run differential can be skewed if you have one of those huge games and on both sides where you're winning really large or losing, and the numbers don't tell what your won-loss record is.
Well, the Rockies are a plus team in run differential, the only team in baseball who's on the plus side but has a losing record. And in the second half, where the Rockies are 25 and 23, if you look at Matt Cain, they're plus 37.
This is Matt Cain's first relief appearance this year. He has only 3 other times in his career come out of the bullpen, twice in 2015 and once way back in 2006.
It's just odd seeing Matt Cain jog in.
It was the shortest outing for Matt Moore since June 4th, 2013.
Just 2 2/3. 1 and 2 on Bettis. 2 on. He's the 11th man to hit here in what has been a 6-run third. We're even going 2 and 2 with Bettis. Matt Cain tried to throw the ball in the outside corner. You know, as Clint Hurdle used to say, any man with a bat is a dangerous man, but Chad, not the most gifted hitter.
2 for 42 this year.
And that goes to the, well, not to the backstop, but enough that Cardullo moves up 90 feet. Wow.
See, yeah, that's wow's right.
This is a Giants team that hasn't gotten the alarm to wake up on this Labor Day.
Third wild pitch today.
And Bettis fouls off. That's one of the better swings we've seen Chad have. Fouled off the fastball down the middle. That'll end the frame. The Rockies do significant damage. They run off Matt Moore, scoring 6 times. The big blow, Cargo's 6th career grand slam. 6-0 Colorado. Nick Hundley in the act as well.
1-0 on the Giants, and Chad Bettis is set down the side in the first 3 innings. The Giants are having a tough time scoring runs. We've talked about it. The franchise goes back to 1883 when they were the New York Gothams. So in this previous series against the Cubs, the team scored somehow 10 runs on 14 hits. The last time that happened with the Giants was in 1963. They had 4 games in mid-June at Candlestick Park. It was against the Cubs for 1 game and then the Colt 45s. Now that lineup had Mays, McCovey, and Cepeda in the middle of it. They won a 2-1 game, a 2-1 game, and a 1-0 game because Juan Marichal threw a no-hitter against Houston. But that's the last time, guys, they've had this kind of a struggle in a 4-game series when you're talking about hitting the baseball. And that team could hit.
Yeah, you're talking about Mays,
McCovey, and Cepeda. And they
I
had
would think
Felipe
they could hit.
Alou. Joey Amalfitano was on that team. Jose Pagan. And they went to the World Series in '62.
Baseball. Just when you think you have it figured out, right?
You don't.
Chad Bettis up 6-love, and he is not allowed a base runner as Denard Span is at the plate with a 1-strike count here in the 4th. And this is a towering pop to Tapia in center. Tapia makes the catch. 10 straight to begin the game. Retired by Chad Bettis. That'll bring up Angel Pagan. Rockies like Labor Day. They're 13-4 over their last 17 on Labor Day. Best record on Labor Day in baseball.
765 win percentage. I gotta say, for Chad, if you can have one of those quick 1, 2, 3, maybe a 10-pitch inning, last 3 minutes, 4 minutes, that'd be dandy, because that last half inning for the Rockies, that took 27 minutes. So you can put the Giants right back out on the field. They'd be like, okay, Uncle, I'm going to start waving the white flag soon.
Yeah, you want to bury a team, especially here. I mean, we've said it many times. No game, no lead, seems safe here. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pagan. To short. Nice play by Adames. He's been busy today. Christian with his 4th chance. Folks, join in on the conversation all day long. Send us your thoughts, questions, photos. Use Twitter or Instagram and include the hashtag Toyota Talk, and you're in business. 2 outs. Brandon Crawford. Crawford used to kill the Rockies. 364 average his first 33 games against the Rockies. But this kind of surprises me. His last 57 games against Colorado, he's hit just 210. It doesn't feel like that, because he's had some big hits in his career against Colorado.
That's what I was saying. Maybe that's what it is, because it seems like whenever they would need that hit, or they were down in a ball game, he would come through with a base hit, maybe drive in a run or 2.
I know he's hit at least 1 walk-off against the Rockies at AT&T. Here's the 0-1 and a comeback. Boy, is Bettis pitching well. 12 straight to begin the ball game, set down by Chad Bettis. That inning, 7 pitches. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. With Jeff Hewson and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman on a beautiful Labor Day in Denver, and the scoreboard is pretty Rockies fans. They're up 6-0 as they come to bat in the fourth. They scored 5 in the third inning. They sent 11 to the plate. Matt Cain has replaced Matt Moore. Cain struck out Bettis on a 3-2 pitch to end the festivities in a 27-minute half inning. Now Raimel Tapia, 1 for 2. Takes inside ball 1.
Look back at that last inning, half inning for the Rockies. What if that line drive was caught off the bat of Raimel? I mean, all these little things in the course of a game, you look and you wonder, and how would it have played out?
I'm glad you made mention of that. I'm sure in the Giants dugout, if it's not being verbalized, it's being thought about with Ron Wotus, the bench coach, Bruce Bochy, the manager. Had that ball been caught by a guy who has the surest hands, among the surest hands in baseball, and Brandon Crawford, it potentially is a different inning. It's the hard shot off the bat of Tapia. It was scored a base hit. 2-1. And this ball is driven to the left center field gap, and it is chased down out there by Pagan.
That was a center fielder, Pagan, playing left field.
That is exactly what I was going to say. If you do not have a guy with center fielder wheels, that's a double, maybe a triple for Tapia.
Because of the jump that he got on this baseball. And it's an immediate drop step for Pagan. He looks it all the way in the Subaru Supermo, but it's the drop step is the key for everything, any sort of movement for an outfielder, to be able to turn and go to a spot.
DJ's been perfect today. 1 for 1 and a sac fly. Leading hitter in the National League at 345. We told you earlier Daniel Murphy has the first part of the day off. The Nationals are at home against Atlanta, and they're up 6-1 in the 5th. Strike on LeMahieu, who's got a .321 career average against the Giants. Among active players, that's third best. Chris Iannetta, interestingly, has the highest active batting average against the Giants at .329. Neil Walker, the recently injured now New York Met, former Pirate,
back
is
surgery.
next at .322.
Back surgery, Neil Walker.
Whoa. Up and in.
They set up on this pitch. I guess they were up, but that's always a scary thing as a hitter. See that ball coming up towards your head. You're just hoping you can get out of the way somehow, some way.
Give you an idea how hard guys throw, and we could flash up 95 and 92 and 98 for you. When a ball like that completely misses everything, you know it's 60 feet 6 inches from the rubber to the plate. Well, it's another here at Coors Field, I don't know what, 38, 40 feet, something like that to the backstop, and the ball never changes trajectory.
It stays all the way back to the wall.
3-2 to third. Nunez. 2 outs. 2 outs, nobody on. Here comes Arenado. Last 2 years, Nolan has the 4th highest batting average against the Giants, but in the categories you really pay attention to, driving runs in, hitting bombs, extra base hits, he's #1.
Think about the runs and the home runs that he's hit out in San Francisco. And a lot of those have been at night. When you think you can't drive it out there, he's hitting at 12, 14, 15 rows back.
Nolan a line out, an intentional walk. Yesterday he had a single and a triple at 4 at bats. No swing, 2-0. This time, same angle. And this one was caught by Brandon Crawford. So for the first time, actually the second time today, the Rockies go in order. Chad Bettis has been outstanding so far. The Rockies up 6-0. Chad has not had to pitch from the stretch. Hunter Pence, Joe Panik, Eduardo Nunez in the 5th inning for the Giants. All kinds of weakly hit ground balls in this ball game.
Already 9 ground ball outs for Chad. Couple strikeouts, just one measly fly ball.
Pence swings and misses. Yeah, the only ball in the air. The only activity for an outfielder was a pop fly to shallow center, caught easily by Tapia. That was off the bat of Denard Span. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Chad in that start against Washington had 11 ground ball outs in that affair.
On the inside corner, Larry Vanover will let you know, veteran umpire. David Rackley at first base, Chris Ciccione at second, Paul Emmel at third. 1-2. See ya.
That was just prime pitching by Chad. About a Hall of Fame pitch, as late great umpire Derwood Merrill would say. That was it. Black at the knees. On the shave the corner of that plate.
Great pitch by Bettis. 3rd strikeout. Panik at the plate. He had a ground ball to second. Rockies haven't shifted much against the Giants.
I think part of that's the way Chad is pitching. You know, he's pitching to his spots. You don't need to shift as much or get the wild one where Nolan would be the only guy left on the left side.
One and a called strike.
The umpire gets in a rhythm too. It's a buy you the pitch that's maybe just off the Subaru strike zone, but it's not off by 4 or 5 inches. That might have missed by an inch.
And a weakly hit ball, and Bettis scampers off the mound. He's had 3 chances already. 2 outs in the 5th inning. It'll bring up Nunez.
You want to catch all the action September 19th through the 21st when the St. Louis Cardinals come to Coors Field. You can get your tickets today. That's a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday later on this month.
Been a joy to watch so far from Walt Weiss's perspective. 6-0 Colorado. Bettis' first pitch, a breaking ball misses to Nunez.
That's got to be fun for Chad too. When you feel like you have your pitches, everything's that tunnel vision. as you stare down the catcher.
One and one on Nunez. And a line drive to left. That's going to drop, and that ends the perfect game in the 5th inning with 2 outs. So Chad Bettis retires the first 14. Give him a standing ovation. That's outstanding.
Well, he came inside a couple times to Nunez in his first at bat. Wasn't hit hard, wasn't off the barrel, but Nunez, who hit 296 with the Twins, throws that base hit out to left field.
And a ground ball to second. Belt is retired. Nunez left at first base. 1 pitch now out of the stretch today for Chad Bettis. Rockies up middle of 5, 6-0. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Carlos Gonzalez will lead it off against Matt Cain. Here's what he did his last at bat. They walked Nolan to get to him to load the bases, and on the 3rd delivery against Matt Moore, he hit one in the bullpen. 6th career grand slam, 2nd this year. That gave the Rockies a 5-0 lead at that point. But Kid Cargo to stop hitting it at people. He's hit a bunch of line drives right at guys. 2 more last night. Finally, he said, I'm just hitting it over the wall.
So you're saying he finally listened to you?
Tried to pass along what I thought was decent advice.
This is like talking to your kids, right?
Yeah. Come on, listen, Cargo. Cargo's behind 0-2. He has never hit Matt Cain for whatever reason. He's seen Cain a ton. 53 plate appearances, official at bats against Cain, just 8 for 53. Oh-2. Cain's a little different now. Cain used to really come after you with that fastball majority of the time. He's a mid-90s guy.
Yeah, now he's more 87 to 92, but a lot of 89s and 90s with the fastball. He's thrown a ton of innings in his career. Not so much the last 2 or 3 innings, but you go back to 2013, they had 184. 2012, 219 innings.
1-2 on Cargo. Back up the middle, and positioned there is Crawford. That'll bring up Ryan Rayburn. Kane has retired all 5 that he has faced. It's coming in for more. Rockies 27-29 inside the division. The Giants have been dominant inside the division. They have a 33-21 mark. That's the best mark of any team in intra-division play in the West. But this is the first time in more than 6 weeks that the Giants have been in the NL West.
Yeah, they played 22 out of their final 26 games within the division.
2-0 on Rayburn.
Only 4 games that they don't play is against the St. Louis Cardinals. It's part of the trip the Cardinals will be on when they go to San Francisco first and then come here to play the Rockies.
2 balls and a strike. That hurts.
Coca-Cola value packs are still the best deal in town. It's available every value game, including this Tuesday and Wednesday against these same San Francisco Giants.
Matt Moore's official line: 2 2/3, 6 runs, all of them earned, 5 hits, 4 walks, 1 intentional, and just 1 strikeout. 71 pitches for Moore. That is easily his worst outing in a Giant uniform. In his previous 6 starts, he was very good. In fact, he had a no-hitter going with 2 outs in the 9th inning against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. Remember that? 2 starts ago.
Yeah, 133 pitches for Matt Moore, but then it was broken up with a clean single by Corey Seager to right field.
It wasn't a bullet, but it was a clean single. It was a uncatchable ball. Matt Moore, no-hitter, 2 outs, 9th inning. Some of the work he did earlier, the 133 pitches, a career high. And there's Corey Seager. Lobbed one out into right field for a base hit. Nick Hundley hit a home run to left, his 10th of the year. 46 RBIs, a career best.
Another one that got out in a heartbeat. Grand slam, and then this solo shot. And for Nick, the last 14 games, hit .328, has 5 home runs and 17 RBIs.
This is in the air to shallow center. Panic, backpedaling, and he'll make the play. So a 1-2-3 fifth for Matt Cain. Rockies leading 6-0 as we go to the 6th. big CenturyLink high-speed challenge poll question. Who holds the Rockies record for most stolen bases in franchise history? Was it EY, Cargo, or Larry Walker? You've been able to vote it at RootSports_RM. That yesterday, I think EY had 89% of the votes so far. Cargo doesn't steal bases much anymore, but he still hits balls over the wall. He was 25th earlier in the ball game, grand slam. Cargo now with 89 RBIs. Cargo also, did I say 89 RBIs? Is that right?
88.
88 RBIs. Cargo also hit his 201st home run, all but 4 in a Rockies uniform. Trevor Brown is at the plate. New left fielder for the Rockies is David Dahl. Rayburn comes out. And the ball's hit the center field, and Tapia unable to cut it off. He was swung over toward right center field. So it's a leadoff double for Brown here in the 6th inning. Just the second base runner, just the second hit for the Giants against Chad Bettis.
Ryan Rayburn fouled this ball off his foot.
And I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
You're up
David
6-0.
Dahl would be coming in anyhow. The left-hander's out of the ball game, and you're going to bring him in with the lead as the game gets to the latter portion of the game. For defensive purposes. Pinch hitter's Connor Gillespie.
Out in the bullpen for the Giants, the local Regis product, Ty Block.
Left-hander at a Regis High School and then Creighton University. If he comes in, it'll be his major league debut.
He's trying to drink some water now. You know he's got cottonmouth working. A lot of friends and family in the stands today. Gillespie 227 average, pinch hitting.
This is popped up DJ LeMahieu territory, I think. Now it's going to be Cardullo. That'll bring up Span. Denard, former Twin and Washington National. A ground ball to short and a fly ball to center field. Bettis has thrown just 64 pitches so far.
45 of them have been strikes, and even the 19 that have been balls. You think back, take away those first 3 of the game. Try to remember any time that he had more than 2 balls on a hitter.
He's hit all his spots today.
0 3-ball counts for sure.
Chad pitches, the Rockies win. Last 15 times he's taken the baseball, the Rockies have won 12 of those ball games.
Also won his last 7 starts at home.
2-1.
Sure, as soon as I say something about the number of balls he's thrown in, can't remember when he's had 2 balls on a hitter. What's he do? 2-1 on Denard.
That's fouled off out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Span. Span 1 for 7 in his career against Bettis. Got him.
Well, it makes it easy for Nick. Got a runner at second base. You have to worry about him and maybe throwing it down to first, but Denard stays at home plate. 4 strikeouts today for Chad. And this was on the changeup that Mark was talking about back in the second inning, how he's throwing more of them. So Nick checks the runners. Oh, thank you. I'll just tag you right here, make it easy.
Get yourself as big as you can when you're blocking the baseball. Create as much surface as possible. Pagan with 2 outs. 2 ground balls to short. Good spot. 92 right at the bottom of the knees on the outside corner.
Really good extension today by Chad. Arm extension is what I mean, is when he wants to throw to that spot, and really, it looks like he's almost reaching out, trying to touch that area. That's helped with staying on line today.
Two and one. Breaking ball hit in the air to right field. Carr goes out there. He's got it. And Trevor Brown, who had a leadoff double, stranded at second base. Bettis continues to roll along safely through the 6th inning. The Rockies up 6-0.
Rockies up 6-0. Just announced the tie block is on the mound for San Francisco. From Parker, pitched to Regis, pitched to Creighton, drafted by the Giants, about to make his big league debut. He's familiar with this ballpark.
It's a dream come true to be here. It's amazing thinking about sitting up above the bullpen, watching games, and knowing that I'm actually going to be in the bullpen today. So it'll be pretty exciting.
And Drew and Jeff from the bullpen to the mound. What a moment for a local kid.
Well, you can appreciate Dad, Randy and Karen wiping away tears. And this is special, Jeff, for you as well, because you know Ty a long time. He played with he played in Little League with Kyle.
Yeah, and I've known Randy and Karen for a long time, and just to be able to watch Ty come out here, because I remember seeing him when he was 8, 9 years old, 10 years old. and watching him pitch and play first base, and now for his major league debut, how special it is for him to be back here in Denver and make it.
You know, these things are not lost on Bruce Bochy. The game at 6-0. Boch knows the kid is from here, but he's earned his right to be in the big leagues. He was 14-7 in AAA Sacramento this year as a starting pitcher. He's ahead 1-2 on Steven Cardullo.
His last 11 starts for Sacramento, he was 8-2 with the 2.01 ERA.
Yeah, this is not just a gift. This is a guy that's earned his way to the big leagues. He's on the 40-man roster. He's very well thought of by the Giants. Originally a 5th-round pick, as Mark mentioned, out of Creighton, where he was not only all Missouri Valley Conference, he was an academic All-American. Well, what a special moment. And you know what? It's also special for Steve Kavnar. Steve and his wife Dode, obviously, there's Steve and Dode. It's Jenny's mom and dad, because Steve coached Ty at Regis. And Steve, who's won a couple of state titles, and we say this not just because we love Steve and Dode and we know them well, but Steve is one of the best high school baseball coaches in this state the last quarter century. High school state championship at Smoky Hill, won one at Regis. But this is his first former player to get to the big leagues. He's had a number who played professionally. Chris Nobinshu, he had,
yes,
you know, Chris terrific
UNC
player at UNC and got to AAA. This is the first former player for Steve that's gotten to the big leagues.
And a real special tweet there from Jenny too, talking about that he knows what it's like. He understands, and to have somebody. And again, since I know the family, I know this young man, they are as down to earth, as nice a people as you would want to meet.
Steve's blocked a little bit there. You see Dode on the left. One-two on Cardullo. That's inside. 2-2. Wins, tied a Sacramento club record victories in a season. And a ground ball to short.
I have to go back to 2001 as we see Randy and Karen clapping as their son makes their first out in the major leagues. How about those two guys right next to each other? Parker Bears, Ty Block, and then my own son Kyle. They won a.
And they both grew up to be big kids. Yeah. Ty's 6'2", but Kyle's now 6'6" or so.
Yeah, but holding the trophy from when they won the AYL Youth League, and talking to Ty today about that. He says his dad, Randy, has that same picture up in his office.
That's neat. Good stuff. Christian Adames. A couple of walks today for Christian. This is a high pop to Pence in right. 2 outs. And now to bring up Bettis.
Pitcher number 35, Chad Bettis.
Matt Cain goes 2 1/3. He did not allow a base runner. 2 strikeouts.
Just threw 32 pitches for Cain.
In fact, the last Rockies base runner was the Adames walk in the 3rd. Rockies scored all 6 runs on 4 hits in that 3rd inning. They have 5 hits overall. They had a base hit from LeMahieu in the 1st. Two and 1.
See pretty simple mechanics from Ty. Stands on the rubber and just twists the body, gets a hand out of the glove. Very consistent, repeatable delivery.
something pitching coaches pay very close attention to. It's similar to, you know, with a hitter, you don't want a lot of movement. Once you get loaded, you want head moving, jarring kind of movements, and Block has a simple delivery. 3-2. Bettis 2 at bats in the 3rd inning. A walk and a strikeout in that 3rd. On the ground to Nunez. Well, Ty Block, the kid out of Regis High School in his major league debut, a 1-2-3 inning. Mom and Dad can breathe again. Special moment. 6-0 Rockies. Kubota pitching performance. It has been one splendid day at the office for Chad Bettis. Ground ball after ground ball. He retired the first 14 he faced today before Eduardo Nunez dumped a single to left. He's given up only 2 hits. Trevor Brown has the other, a double. 4 strikeouts along the way. Chad Bettis, a beautiful performance, and he's not done. Close. Goes to the 7th inning. And he'll face Brandon Crawford, Hunter Pence, Joe Panik. 3, 4, and 5 in this giant lineup. Just 73 pitches so far for Chad. Here's the UCLA product. Brandon Crawford swings and misses. He's hit 2 comebackers today.
That's why I said I'm not waiting around this time. I'm going to hack at the first pitch. The Chad throws him a changeup.
Crawford's 3 for his last 21. He's quickly behind 0-2.
So 4 out of the 6 innings here in this game, the Giants have gone down 1-2-3. First 4 innings. Think about this number, Drew. In the 40 innings in Chicago, 24 times they went 1-2-3. 24 out of the 40 innings.
So now it's 28 out of 44.
44.
Wow.
Actually 46. Wow. 28 out of 46.
You have a team that is collectively lost at the plate. They need a compass. They need a map. They need a smartphone.
But this is where you don't do anything to wake them.
Nope.
Just keep going about your business. Don't throw one up and in, even if it's by mistake. Just let them go. Just let them be.
Hunter Pence line shot. And that's well, he's out one of 2 ways, either on a ground out or on a line out.
You have to look at the replay to see, was this
Nolan
just
completed the play, just showing off from his knees because he had all day to stand up. Let's see if he caught this in the air.
That was it looked like a great glove save.
I think he caught it
in the air. But just for funsies, I'll throw it across.
Yeah, and for Paul Emmel, Paul's kind of blocked.
Oh yeah, he did catch it in the air.
So we'll call it an L5 in our book line. You know, and now officially they're saying it's a 5-3.
No, they'll watch it again. It's L5. I'm with you.
Joe Panic, man, this is unbelievable. Great pitching by Chad Bettis. That was a 6-pitch inning. Bettis shut out baseball through 7. On this Labor Day, we're going to stick around and enjoy a rendition of God Bless America.
Fans, please rise as we honor our great country with the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the United States Air Force Academy Cadet Chorale, is Gary DeClure. Please welcome Gary and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
On this Labor Day, working really hard.
Feverishly.
Best part of broadcast is the camera shots. Great angles. It gives TV viewer the fan at the park. Job well done. Crash, when did you have time to tweet that out?
He had the great camera angle on that home run the other night.
Yes, he did. We have a great crew. Raimel Tapia to face Ty Block. Second inning of work for the Regis Jesuit product. Tapia, LeMahieu, Arenado. The Rockies looking for their first base runner since the 3rd. Their last hit was a Cardullo single in the 3rd. 10 straight retired by the combination of Matt Cain and Ty Block. Ground ball to Joe Panic.
The next Fan Friday is September 16th, and the first 5,000 fans will receive a Fan Friday Rockies hooded sweatshirt.
LeMahieu a single in the first, a sac fly to deep right in the third, and a ground ball to third. So DJ 1 for 2, the season batting average resting at .345, which is best in the National League. It's the 7th inning, and DJ in the 7th or later hitting .352, which is the best in the game. Beltre hit another home run, I think it was yesterday. Ichiro, a couple hits the other day. Working on his next 3,000.
Yeah. He just passed the other day. Boggsy, somebody like that on the hit list.
Good swing, 1 and 2. Block, especially for left-handers, solid velocity.
92, 93.
Yeah, cuts it a little bit. That's a slider in the dirt, 2 and 2. Game 7 of a 9-game homestand for the Rockies before they head to San Diego for 4 this weekend. That is in the air to left center field. Pagan gets there.
I think he stopped running momentarily. He was able to kick it back in gear and catch this at the end of the glove. Just keep an eye on Pagan. Right here looked like maybe trying to figure out how hard it was hit and what he had to do. Boy, that's the timing as an outfielder, what you want. You run with the glove by your side and then reach out. But here's a guy that's also dealt with a lot of hamstring issues. Had to have surgery on it, missed time earlier this year.
Or you kind of reach out and almost overstride. You worry about it.
I'm just watching him right now stretch.
0-1 on Nolan. Arenado 0 for 2, 2 lineouts and an intentional walk. Ty still makes his offseason home in the Denver area. So probably off the field, go, hey, who's your favorite play? Love Nolan Arenado, Cargo, right? That's a hot shot. I don't know if he got leather on, but Panic ends up throwing out Nolan. So that is 13 straight retired by San Francisco, but the Rockies lead. Oakland, Colorado, as we take a look at our first bank game recap. Rockies exploded for 6 in the 3rd. They chased Matt Moore after 2 2/3. Cargo, his 6th career grand slam. Rockies have 3 this week. Cardullo, Nick Hundley, and now Cargo. And Chad Bettis has retired 21 of the 23 he has faced. That should not be lost. Chad has been just terrific today, and in the 8th inning he'll face Eduardo Nunez, Brandon Belt, and Trevor Brown.
79 pitches today for Chad, 55 for strikes. Break it down even more, 11 ground ball outs, 5 fly outs, but of those 5, only 2 have gone to the outfield. A fly ball to center and a fly ball to right, and 5 strikeouts.
Bettis ready to go. Nunez has one of the 2 hits in the ball game. Curveball for strike 1. Nunez, after the first 14 were retired by Bettis today, he has singled to left.
On a fastball, and that's why Chad started him off with that curveball.
Ooh, just missed.
Yeah, I guess it did just miss on the Subaru strike zone. Seen that called a few times today, though.
One and 2. This entire game, Chad has worked ahead. Bettis originally slated to go yesterday, but he had faced Arizona 4 times this year. Swung on and missed, and because of that, Will Weiss changed things up, and he said, you know what, we're going to have Gray with a 6-man rotation right now. We're going to have Gray go against Arizona, and we're going to have Bettis face the Giants.
Why just give him an extra day as you get down here into September? Out on that front foot was Nunez.
Turns into a very shrewd move. Chad had a tough go against Arizona this year, 7.54 ERA in those 4 starts.
When he's had success against San Francisco, and for Chad, he's thrown more than 7 innings just 2 times in his career, but one of the teams has been the Giants. Did them back-to-back starts last year, May 24th and the 29th. One against the Giants here at home. The other one was in Philadelphia. That game he was working on a no-hitter there.
Belt fouls that off, 1 and 2. Brandon Belt had to be happy last night as Texas Longhorns for Charlie Strong won in 2 overtimes in a great game against the Irish.
And I got to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Steve Buechele, his son Shane, starting quarterback for Texas.
First true freshman. Belt's a strikeout victim. Bettis just mowing him down. He's the first true freshman to start at quarterback ever at UT. And that the other kid, the big kid, the senior, Swoops, how'd you like to tackle him?
Well, that's why they call it the 18-wheeler package, because he was running over people.
Nice little combination. It's always been said, well, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. It worked pretty nicely, not only for Texas last night, but the Irish played 2 quarterbacks.
And the Irish have nothing to hang their head about. But Texas kind of coming back to prominence again. But it's Bannister, the coach or the manager, excuse me, for Texas, gave Steve Buechele the day off so he could go watch his son. And Steve's the bench coach for the Texas Rangers.
That's a classy move by Jeff Bannister. Texas right now probably could pull fans out of the stands and have them run the Rangers these
not
days.
quite like what Navy had to do with their quarterback, pull their 4th-string guy out of the stands and put him in uni.
Wasn't that a neat story? We told that yesterday. Dropped the quarterback, and he went from his dress whites into his football guard. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Brown. 7 strikeouts for Bettis. You know, I don't tweet a ton, but I tweeted this out last night. I haven't done a lot of games at the University of Texas. College football is better when the University of Texas is relevant.
And how about that stadium rocking last night?
It's a great place. That's inside. Here's something else too, Huey. You talk about this day and age of 24-hour news cycle and Twitter universe, 140 character universe we live in. Did Charlie Strong all of a sudden become dumb when he left Louisville?
No.
You know,
the cupboard was bare when he got there.
It really was. And, Mac Brown had a great run there, but the last couple of years wasn't the same. Chad Bettis, man, speaking of Texas kids, Texas Tech Red Raiders, outstanding. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Ought to be a busy day at Elitch's. It is flat beautiful out. And it's been a gorgeous performance by that man. The former Texas Tech Red Raider Chad Bettis, 8 shutout innings. Chance to do the rarest of things, especially for a Rockies pitcher this year, throw a complete game. Cargo in the 8th inning will lead it off. Cargo, a grand slam back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Ty Block is retired. All 6 he's faced till now. That's a gapper. And Cargo has a leadoff double. You know what? One day, somebody in the family, kids, relatives, a neighbor will ask Ty Blocks, you pitched in the big leagues. Who got the first hit off you? Well, and he can say proudly it was Carlos Gonzalez.
Yeah, the guy that's had many hits off many different pitchers. Right-handed, left-handed, submariner, side armors. And now for Cargo, another double on the season.
First at bat for David Dahl. Well, Ty Block has pitched at Coors Field before when he was playing for Regis. Played a ball game here, and
I like what they do with that.
Snapshot of Ty throwing at Coors.
Look at the high school teams, and they'll come here and play at Coors Field in early spring. Experience for those young men. Good experience for Stephen Dote too. Jenny's proud parents.
They ought to be.
They should be.
2 balls and a strike on Dahl. Ryan Rayburn came out of the ballgame when Dahl came in. And, you know, David was probably going to come in at some point defensively with the Rockies up. But Ryan did bruise that foot when he fouled that pitch off. been advised that that is one of the reasons he came out. 3-1.
It's nice that he called that a ball on the Subaru strike zone. They called the strike today a couple times.
Three and two.
Randy Block, Ty's dad.
Three and two on Dahl, and a walk to Dahl. So 2 on for Nick Conley. One quick note on Cargo, who's standing in second base. The double for Cargo is his 34th this year. 25 home runs, 34 doubles. The 34 doubles ties a career high. His career high in home runs set last year when Cargo hit 40.
Enjoy a memorable dinner on Coors Field, infield at the Rockies Kindness Dinner on Wednesday, September 14th. For more information, call 303-312-2337.
Conley pops this up shallow left, and Crawford and Pagan. It'll be Crawford. 1 out. That'll bring up Cardullo. Stevens 1 for 3, a single in that 6-run third inning.
Sure, these two matched up a time or two in AAA this year with Sacramento and Albuquerque.
Swung on and missed. Two on, 1 out. Rockies up 6-0, bottom of 8. 6 hits for the Rockies. Just 2 for the Giants. And Nunez handles that. 2 gone. The day after every Rockies win, get 50% off your online order at Papa John. Make sure you include the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. So Christian Adames with 2 outs and 2 on. To be impressed with how Ty Block has thrown. Good movement. He's been aggressive.
Well, even after the first 2 guys reached, with Cargo with the double and then the walk to Dahl, he got 2 easy pop-ups by Nick and Steven.
Slowly hit to third, and Nunez gets him. So after the first 2 reach, Ty Block gets Hundley, Cardullo, and Adames. We go to the 9th inning. Chad Bettis trying to finish what he started. The Rockies up 6-0.
Kavner used to be a coach at Regis Jesuit. Got to see Ty Block, his first player to ever make it to the major leagues. But he's also pretty proud because the Rockies are up 6-0. Jenny Kavner with Corey Sullivan and Ryan Spilberg. We have so much to talk about on the Toyota post-game show. Rockies showing up to play a team above 500 again, and they're doing it well. But we'd be remiss if we didn't take this moment to honor our very own number 19, Ryan Spilberg. It's your birthday.
That's
and
right.
buddy, we know you got to go to school all those days, not celebrate your birthday. You're at work now. But we're going to celebrate your birthday with a special surprise.
He's gonna make me
Ginger, yeah!
Oh.
Yes!
Oh.
Your face.
Well, you're still agile. So that's
Like
good.
a cat.
Corey, we've been planning this for
Come on.
9 innings, and you
got
can't
me.
execute.
Is he
Well,
coming
guys,
back?
hey, guess what? Good news. Oh, he's going to eat it.
He's eating it.
going to take a bite of that. Oh, that just happened.
My notes, everyone. That was a 10-second rule.
I was just going to say, Drew and Huey, I'll bring you some cake.
No,
but
thanks. I'm good.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Spilly.
Thank you, guys.
Billy, happy birthday. I believe Billy's 37.
I know.
What is going on? Jared Parker was a pinch hitter. His bat went farther than the baseball. Worn out in the ninth.
Yeah, the barrel ended up out by second base, but into the glove of Chad for the first out. And there's the barrel traveling all the way out there on the Subaru Supermo. That bat went 142 feet. The baseball went 60.
Swung on and missed by Denard Span. At the knees, 0-2. Unbelievable performance by Bettis. 97 pitches. He's been ahead of everybody. 0-2. And that just missed. 1-2 on Span, who's 0 for 3. Ground out, fly out, strike out. It's been only 2 balls to the outfield. Span in the 4th inning. Pagan in the 6th inning. I cannot recall a ball that's been hit hard.
Maybe that line out last inning off the bat of Hunter Pence to Nolan at 3rd.
That would be it, probably. Crowd at 26,574 on this Labor Day. Enjoyed a big 3rd inning for the Rockies, and that's all they've needed. Think about it. The Rockies got 4 of their 6 hits and all their runs in that 3rd inning. And an easy play for DJ. 2 outs. Who wants tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. They don't mind this.
No.
Spectators all day. Chad Bettis given the pen. It looks like an entire day off. 2 outs, nobody on. In the 9th, looking for the 27th out, Angel Pagan. 2 ground outs and a fly ball to Cargo and right.
And really not even a thought of having to get that phone ringing down in the bullpen or get somebody going. Can't wait to hear what Chad has to say after the game, because this has to just be one of those moments where everything was tunnel vision. Everything felt right for you. Whatever pitch you wanted to execute, you did it.
Oh, 0-1 on Pagan. Hard ground ball. Nolan's got it. Throw to first. Ball game over. Complete game shutout for Chad Bettis. 6-0 Colorado. 103 pitches. The gem of Bettis' career thus far. It's the first Rocky complete game shutout since Chris Russin did it against the Padres last year. And that was on August the 16th. It's the Rockies' first complete game of the year, period. Their last complete game, September 3rd, last year against the Giants. That one was also tossed by Chris Russin. What a job by Chad Bettis. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. The work of Bettis, who improves to 12-8. It was a 2-hit shutout. 8th 2-hitter by a Rocky starter ever. Just a splendid, gorgeous performance by Chad in complete control. The Giants produced just 2 hits, a single and a double.
15 ground ball outs.
Chad never had a complete game in the minor leagues. And now he has a 2-hit complete game shutout of the San Francisco Giants. And as Jenny alluded to a few moments ago, all kinds of things to talk about. Jenny, as I pass it off to you, I will tell you that that was also the shortest game for the Rockies this year, 2 hours, 24 minutes.
Wow.
Birthday present.
That's the best
birthday
present.
gift
Labor Day
ever.
gift. Gotta love that. And Chad Bettis barely had the labor this Labor Day. What a performance.
The game ended the way it began, by ground balls. He got 5 to start the game, 2 to end it. Great job by Spiller.
By Spiller?
Yeah, going like this.
Bettis, it's Philly's birthday. We'll be right back with the Toyota Postgame Show.